Good morning. Thank you for joining me reading Granddaddy's Bible. Today we're reading chapters 15, 16, and 17 in Numbers. Chapter 15. Certain laws concerning sacrifices. Sabbath breaking is punished with death. The law of fringes on their garments. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and thou shalt say to them, When you shall become into the land of your habitation, which I will give you, and shall make an offering to the Lord for a holocaust or a victim, paying your vows, or voluntarily offering gifts, or in your solemnities, burning a sweet savor unto the Lord, of oxen or of sheep. Whosoever immolateth the victim shall offer a sacrifice of fine flour, the 10th part of an ephah, tempered with the 4th part of a hin of oil. And he shall give the same measure of wine to pour out in libations for the holocaust or for the victim. For every lamb and for every man, every ram there shall be a sacrifice of flour of 2/10, which shall be tempered with the 3rd part of a hin of oil. And he shall offer the 3rd part of the same measure of wine for the libation for a sweet savor to the Lord. But when thou offerest a holocaust or sacrifice of oxen to fulfill thy vow for victims of peace offerings, thou shalt give for every ox 3/10 of flour tempered with half a hin of oil, and wine for libations of the same measure for an offering to the most sweet savor to the Lord. Thus shalt thou do for every ox and ram and lamb and kid, both they that are born in the land and the strangers shall offer sacrifices after the same rite. There shall be all one law and judgment, both for you and for them who are strangers in the land. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and thou shalt say to them, When you are come into the land which I will give you, and shall eat of the bread of that country, you shall separate first fruits to the Lord of the things you eat. As you separate first fruits of your barn floors, so also shall you give first fruits of your dough to the Lord. And if through ignorance you omit any of these things, which the Lord hath spoken to Moses, and by him hath commanded you, from the day that he began to command, and thenceforward, and the multitude have forgotten to do it, they shall offer a calf out of the herd, a holocaust for the most sweet savor to the Lord, and the sacrifice and libations thereof, as the ceremonies require, a buck goat for sin, and a buck goat for sin. And the priest shall pray for all the multitude of the children of Israel, and it shall be forgiven them, because they sinned ignorantly, offering notwithstanding a burnt offering to the Lord for themselves and for their sin and their ignorance. And it shall be forgiven all the people of the children of Israel, the strangers that sojourn among them, because it is the fault of all the people through ignorance. But if one soul shall sin ignorantly, he shall offer a she-goat of a year old for his sin, and the priest shall pray for him, because he sinned ignorantly before the Lord, and he shall obtain his pardon, and it shall be forgiven him. The same law shall be for all that sin by ignorance, whether they be natives or strangers. But the soul that committeth anything through pride, whether he be born in the land or a stranger, because he hath been rebellious against the Lord, shall be cut off from among his people. For he hath contempted the word of the Lord, and made void his precept. Therefore shall he be destroyed, and shall bear his iniquity. And it came to pass, when the children of Israel were in the wilderness, and had found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day, that they brought him to Moses and Aaron and the whole multitude. And they put him into prison, knowing what they should do with him, not knowing what they should do with him. And the Lord said to Moses, Let that man die, let all the multitude stone him without the camp. And when they had brought him out, they stoned him, and he died, as the Lord had commanded. The Lord also said to Moses, Speak to the children of Israel, and thou shalt tell them to make to themselves fringes in the corners of their garments, putting in them ribands of blue, that when they shall see them, they may remember all the commandments of the Lord, and not follow their own thoughts and eyes, going astray after diverse things, but rather, being mindful of the precepts of the Lord, may do them, and be holy to their God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, that I might be your God. Chapter 16. The schism of Kor and his adherents, their punishment. And behold, Kor, the son of Issar, the son of Kath, the son of Levi, and Datham, and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and Han, the son of Philith, of the children of Reuben, rose up against Moses, and with them 250 others of the children of Israel, leading men of the synagogue, and who in the time of assembly were called by name. And when they had stood up against Moses and Aaron, they said, Let it be enough for you that all the multitude consisteth of holy ones, and the Lord is among them. Why lift Why lift you up yourselves above the people of the Lord? When Moses heard this, he fell flat on his face, and speaking to Korah and all the multitude, he said, In the morning the Lord will make known who belong to him, and the holy he will join to himself, and whom he shall choose, they shall approacheth to him. Do this therefore, take every man of you your censers, thou Korah, and all thy company, and putting fire in them tomorrow, put incense upon it before the Lord, and whomsoever he shall choose, the same shall be holy. You take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. And he said again to Korah, Hear ye, sons of Levi. It is a small thing unto you that the God of Israel hath spared you from all the people, and joined you to himself, that you should stand before the congregation of the people, and should minister to him. Did he therefore make thee and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, to approach unto him, that you should challenge to yourselves the priesthood also, and that all thy company should stand against the Lord? For what is Aaron, that you murmur against him? Then Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, but they answered, We will not come. It is a small matter to thee that thou hast brought us out of the land that flowed with milk and honey, to kill us in the desert, except thou rule also like a lord over us. Thou hast brought us indeed into the land that floweth with rivers of milk and honey, and hast given us possessions of fields and vineyards. Wilt thou also pull out our eyes? Will we not come? Moses therefore, being angry, said to the Lord, Respect not their sacrifices. Thou knowest I have not taken of them so much as a young ass at any time, nor have injured any of them. And he said to Korah, Do thou and thy congregation stand apart before the Lord tomorrow, and Aaron apart. Take every one of you censers, and put incense upon them, offering to the Lord 250 censers. Let Aaron also hold his censer. When they had done this, Moses and Aaron standing, and had drawn up all the multitude against them to the door of the tabernacle, the glory of the Lord appeared to them. And the Lord, speaking to Moses and Aaron, said, Separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may presently destroy them. They fell flat on their face, and said, O most mighty, the God of the spirits of all flesh, for one man's sin shall thy wrath rage against all? And the Lord said to Moses, Command the whole people to separate themselves from the tents of Korah and Dathan. and Abiram. And Moses arose and went to Dathan and Abiram, and the ancients of Israel following him. He said to the multitude, Depart from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest you be involved in their sins. And when they were departed from their tents round about, Dathan and Abiram coming out stood in the entry of their pavilions with their wives and children and all the people. And Moses said, By this you shall know that the Lord hath sent me to do all things that you see, and that I have not forged them of my own head. If these men die the common death of men, and if they be visited with a plague wherewith others also are wont to be visited, the Lord did not send me. But if the Lord do a new thing, and the earth opening her mouth swallow them down, and all things that belong to them, and they go down alive into hell, you shall know that they have blasphemed the Lord. And immediately, as he had made an end of speaking, the earth broke asunder under their feet, and opening her mouth, devoured them with their tents and all their substance, and they went down alive into hell, the ground closing upon them, and they perished from among the people. But all Israel that was standing round about fled at the cry of them that were perishing, saying, Lest perhaps the earth swallow us up also. And the fire coming out from the Lord destroyed the 250 men that offered the incense. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Command Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, to take up the censers that lie in the burning, and to scatter the fire of one side and the other, because they are sanctified, in the depths of the sinners. And let him beat them into plates, and fasten them to the altar, because incense hath been offered in them to the Lord, and they are sanctified, that the children of Israel may see them for a sign and a memorial. Then Eleazar the priest took the brazen censers wherein they had offered, whom the burning fire had devoured, and beat them into plates, fastening them to the altar, that the children of Israel might have for the time to come wherewith they should be admonished, that no stranger, or any one that is not of the seed of Aaron, should come near to offer incense to the Lord, lest he should suffer as Kor suffered, and all his congregation, according as the Lord spoke to Moses. The following day all the multitude of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron, saying, You have killed the people of the Lord. And when there arose a sedition, and the tumult increased, Moses and Aaron fled to the tabernacle of the covenant. And when they were gone into it, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord appeared. And the Lord said to Moses, Get you out from the midst of this multitude. This moment I will destroy them. As they were lying on the ground, Moses said to Aaron, Take the censer, and putting fire in it from the altar, put incense upon it, and go quickly to the people and pray for them. For already wrath is gone out from the Lord, and the plague rageth. When Aaron had done this, and had run to the midst of the multitude, which the burning fire was now destroying, he offered the incense. And standing between the dead and the living, he prayed for the people, and the plague ceased. And the number of them that were slain was 14,700 men, besides them that had perished in the sedition of Kor. And Aaron returned to Moses to the door of the tabernacle of the covenant after the destruction was over. Chapter 17. The priesthood is confirmed to Aaron by the miracle of the blooming of his rod, which is kept for a monument in the tabernacle. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and take of every one of them a rod by their kindreds, of all the princes of the tribes 12 rods, and write the name of every man upon his rod. And the name of Aaron shall be for the tribe of Levi, and one rod shall contain all their families. And thou shalt lay them up in the tabernacle of the covenant, before the testimony, where I will speak to thee. Whomsoever of these I shall choose, his rod shall blossom, and I will make to cease from me the murmurings of the children of Israel, wherewith they murmur against you. And Moses spoke to the children of Israel, and all the princes gave him rods, one for every tribe, and there were 12 rods besides the rod of Aaron. And when Moses had laid them up before the Lord in the tabernacle of the testimony, he returned on the following day, and found that the rod of Aaron for the house of Levi was budded, and that the buds swelling it had bloomed blossoms, which spreading the leaves were formed into almonds. Moses therefore brought out all the rods from before the Lord to all the children of Israel, And they saw, and every one received their rods. And the Lord said to Moses, Carry back the rod of Aaron into the tabernacle of the testimony, that it may be kept there for a token of the rebellious children of Israel, and that their complaints may cease from me, lest they die. And Moses did as the Lord had commanded. And the children of Israel said to Moses, Behold, we are consumed, we all perish. Whosoever approacheth to the tabernacle of the Lord, he dieth. Are we all to a man to be utterly destroyed? Thank you for joining me. Have a blessed day.